Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Two Blue Vortex discussion. Today I want to talk to you guys about a major development that we had in Boruto Two Blue Vortex chapter 3, which is Boruto at the end of the chapter was shown with the toad summoning and fighting in combat in a way that is very reminiscent of Kashin Koji, the former owner of Car, and this has led to some people, including myself, wondering if Kashin Koji actually trained Boruto during the time skip between Boruto Naruto Next Generations and Boruto Two Blue Vortex, which is why in today's Naruto Explain video, we're going to take a look at whether or not this is the case and what the narrative impact of Kashin Koji training Boruto would be, as well as any potential foreshadowing that we have for this, or if there's even any foreshadowing at all. So right away, I do think this is definitely going to wind up being the case that Boruto did get trained by Kashin Koji during the Boruto time skip. In the manga chapter, we see Boruto not only fighting Code, but using the toad summonings in a way that is eerily similar to how Kashin Koji used toads in the past. Back when Kashin Koji fought against Konohamaru, he disguised his move to plant a toad onto Konohamaru by clashing rasengans with him during their battle. When he sneaked into Konoha, he used toads as a way to keep track of his surroundings and to spy on Naruto and Kawaki during the time Kawaki was living with Naruto and training underneath Naruto, when he fought against Jigen, on top of using the toads in a similar way that he did against Konohamaru. He also had toads hidden in the background in order to broadcast information to Amato regarding the battle with Jigen, and then the next battle with Ishiki, where Kashin Koji would ultimately lose. It's one of the more ninja-like ways that we've seen toads used in the Naruto world, and with Boruto, we see him following a very similar pattern. He's using toads for stealth and information gathering purposes by having toads sneak into Code's dimension and confirm for him that the 10 Tails is where Code is, and Boruto is shown making a hand seal in order to likely perform some kind of a jutsu, either teleport himself there or attempt to destroy the 10 Tails remotely. But one thing is clear, he's using methods that are very similar to Kashin Koji. Does this mean without a shadow of a doubt that Kashin Koji trained Boruto? Not 100%, though I do think this is likely the case that he did. It's just as likely that Sasuke during his time training Boruto suggested he make a summoning contract with the toad off screen, the same way Sasuke got his snake summoning contract off screen under Orochimaru during the time skip, and he got that hawk summoning contract during some point in Naruto Shippuden, where even Obito was shocked in the 5 Kage summit, asking when did Sasuke ever get a hawk summoning contract. It could be something done as another way to have Boruto indirectly try to prove to people that he's Naruto's rightful son, but there's a problem with this line of thinking for anyone trying to use it to discredit the growing belief that Kashin Koji is the one who trained Boruto. Sasuke, at least for as far as we know, does not know the location of Mount Miyaboku, and he has no connection to them. There's no reason for them to work with him, especially once word gets out about how Boruto is charged with killing Naruto and the death of the 7th Hokage, someone who saved the world multiple times over. It would have reached Mount Miyaboku. If anything, should either of them pull up, there are going to be questions asked, and someone's gonna go tell Konoha to tell them about Boruto and Sasuke's location. Sasuke is a lot of things, but I don't think he's dumb enough to go seeking help in some place that is allied closer to Konoha for multiple generations, because Minato was a toad sage, Jiraiya was a toad sage, Naruto was a toad sage. However, if it was Kashin Koji who made the connection with Boruto and helped him acquire the toad summoning contract, this actually makes a lot of sense. Koji is already contracted with his own toads and appears to be able to fly under the radar, because you would think a new Sage Mode user and someone who has toad summons would be on the radar of the toads, and Naruto would have learned about Kashin Koji a while back, because Sage Mode isn't just something anyone can use because of the high chakra required to undergo the training, unless we got some science mumbo jumbo route to take and Kashin Koji as Jiraiya's clone was just genetically programmed with all the jutsu knowledge of Jiraiya, including knowing how to use Sage Mode and somehow be even better at Sage Mode than Jiraiya. And due to Koji being a clone, he's able to use Jiraiya's various toad contracts. If something like that is the case, Boruto forming a contract makes a lot of sense and explains why he went under the radar like he did, since Koji could just summon a contract and Boruto signs it and he begins to start training it. That being said, this does pay out quite a few lines that we had concerning Kashin Koji in the past, namely the line where Kashin Koji said after he killed Victor that he believed his destiny was intertwined with the Lane of Fire, but he didn't know why he had such a strong pull towards the Lane of Fire. something the anime dived deeper into when Kashin Koji fought against Kakashi in the Boruto anime and seemingly was trying to get data about his genetic parent Jiraiya to learn more about where he came from. It pays off Kashin Koji sparing the Konoha shinobi after the battle with Ao, and Ishiki telling Koji he was born under the same star as Jiraiya, which means their outcome was destined to be the same, yet Kashin Koji chose a different path. Whereas Jiraiya, due to the bonds he had with the village and his belief in Naruto, chose to gain intel needed to defeat pain at the expense of his life, Kashin Koji had no such bonds and he left to save himself, but he hasn't been seen since then. Narratively, it would continue that theme while also paying a pretty big homage to the Naruto manga. Naruto was trained by Jiraiya, one of the most famous shinobi in the history of the ninja world, and now Naruto's son is being trained by the genetic son of Jiraiya, his clone Kashin Koji. It's a really interesting way to bring things full circle, and it does pay off something that Boruto anime actually did. Naruto series creator Masashi Kishimoto was the one responsible for that much polarizing time slip arc in the Boruto anime where Boruto and Sasuke went back in time to fight Urashiki. During that arc, Boruto did train under Jiraiya directly for a brief period of time, so we do know there is some interest from Kishimoto in this whole concept. Whether or not it's better executed than the time slip arc, that remains to be seen, but it is worth actually bringing up. The other thing that stands out when it comes to all of this in regards to Koji training Boruto, it offers up a few more dynamics that I don't see enough people mentioning. So we'll start with the easiest to get to before we get into some of the more symbolic ones that are a bit more complicated because it actually builds on the whole theme of Boruto as a series. Boruto at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations had mastery of wind release, lightning release, and water release. The two chakra natures he was missing were fire release and earth release. However, that's where it gets interesting. Both Sasuke and Kashin Koji both know the chakra natures Boruto doesn't have. Sasuke learned fire release in a week of training so quickly that Sasuke's own father was shocked at how he could use the fireball jutsu, and Sasuke as an adult knows earth release, which we saw in the Sasuke Resident manga, the novel, and the anime adaptation where he uses earth release a few times. Like for instance when he made that wedding ring for Sakura. Kashin Koji knows fire release, including one of the most dangerous fire release jutsu in existence that he could have taught to Boruto, the trance of true essence flames, which like Amaterasu can't be put out by water release, and he knows earth release. So either one of these guys would be enough to take a prodigy like Boruto and have him join that small list of shinobi who have learned all 5 changes in chakra nature through natural means, i.e. not having a cheat code to speed up the process like Sasuke had with the Rinnegan, and how Naruto had 6 paths chakra, both of which drastically cut down the time it takes to master those chakra natures, letting them understand how to use each chakra nature almost immediately. It would be fitting for Boruto to train underneath the 2 characters who embody what it means to be a shinobi to get those last chakra natures, one being the former rival of Boruto's father and the other being the genetic clone of Naruto's former master. It will be poetic for the boy who didn't understand the value of hard work in the Boruto movie to come full circle in that way, and also show that like, hey, your father's not here, but your father's still around you because of what everyone else has done. Everyone else being Kashin Koji and Sasuke. However, speaking of coming full circle, Boruto training under Kashin Koji, it actually does another thing. It directly builds on the question that Boruto as a series has been asking us, which is, where does science fit in this world of ninja? Can ninjutsu and science actually coexist? Kashin Koji is both a ninja as well as a product of science, first by being a clone of Jiraiya and a cyborg modified by a model like all the other Inners. Kashin Koji himself is a representation of what Naruto and Sasuke try to drill into the head of Boruto. The shinobi of the future will be those who don't forsake their own ninjutsu training, but also use the tools granted to them by science to protect their village in the future. Koji is both a shinobi and a scientific product, making him the perfect second sensei for Boruto. It's for that reason I don't think you have an either or situation where you either have Sasuke train Boruto or you have Kashin Koji train Boruto. They both fit that role symbolically. There's a lot that this can do to work from a narrative perspective. I don't think this is a bad thing like I've seen a lot of people suggest. Actually, I think it's actually one of the better routes that the story can go, because it both follows the tradition from Naruto while also taking that tradition and tweaking it to fit the new era. which is ultimately what every generation in the Naruto world has done. Hidden jutsu like the Shadow Possession Jutsu and ninjutsu created like the Rasengan are passed down both to younger clan members and from master to student respectively. Younger clan members like Shikamaru took the jutsu their parents taught them, and they found a way to make that jutsu their own by adding new elements to it. Just as Minato taught Kakashi the Rasengan, who tried to add lightning chakra nature to it, and thus Kakashi ended up creating the Chidori. And then several years later, he helped Naruto make both the wind-released Rasengan and the wind-released Rasen Shuriken. There's no reason we don't see Boruto add to what he's being taught. There's a reason why he's been compared to Minato several times. We're going to see him add his own spin to the jutsu that he's taught, because he's been doing it the entire series. But I'm curious to know how you guys feel about Boruto potentially being trained by Kashin Koji. While you think that over, click here to watch these other Naruto Explained videos.